Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wyverns and Weirdos, Curse of Strahd. So, as always, we have Zoe playing Sivia, Mitch playing Kazir, Emily playing Beatrice, Laura playing Conrad, and Johanna playing Fall. So, without further ado, let's get into the episode. And we're back. So, where we last left off, the party were kind of getting to know each other, making camp and foraging for food and cooking it. Beatrice brought back a rather impressive hoard. Kazir brought back a decent amount, nothing to be scoffed at. And Sivia helped. And everyone took a watch except for Conrad, although Beatrice still woke Conrad up for a watch.
Yeah, thanks, Beatrice. Conrad disliked that. It's the problem on the top of the screen.
Each watch passed uneventfully. So we return to the party at dawn as they all wake up. Except for Sivia, who's already awake because she had her watch.
Yep. For anyone who wakes up, she is definitely, for any listeners who didn't listen to the first episode, what are you doing here? But she rolled a 3 on perception, so she would not notice any of you waking up, and any of you who do wake up would find her still with her nose buried in her ornate, very old-looking, heirloom-like book.
Excellent.
But at some point in the night, she has taken her hair out, so it is in its normal curly glory.
Excellent. Fantastic.
Well, Kazir's a fairly early riser.
Okay.
So whatever time he's able to wake up, he will, and he'll sort of set himself up and have a little bit of a meditation session.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Beatrice is also an early riser, being a ranger, so she gets up, grabs a small handful of berries from the night before and walks over to hand them to Sivia, and just pops her hand on her shoulder to try and get her attention.
And she snaps her book closed. She goes, "Thank you. Is watch over already?"
Yes, it's morning now. Here, some berries.
Thank you. Yes, interesting read. Thank you. And she's going to kind of set her book to the side and eat the berries.
All right.
Excellent.
Fall is going to wake and look around, and then noticing Kazir go over to meditate. Fall's just going to kind of look for a moment with an unreadable expression on their face, and then go and walk away from Kazir and go and start getting some food.
Okay.
Excellent. Interesting. And Conrad wakes up grumpy because he's just been sleeping against a tree. He's usually used to sleeping in a nice bed.
So much sleep, though. Come on.
It's awake for 5 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, he kind of like wakes up just kind of like glaring, sort of gets up, stands up and is like trying to de-crick his like back very obviously. Tries to do a couple of stretches and then like sort of, I don't know, looks around mostly perturbed again because he's like, oh yeah, great, woken up, still in this place, not great. And then so he kind of plops back down again with his stuff and sort of opens up his suitcase and carefully like tries to sort of like and you can kind of see like a very pained expression go over his face, which is mostly no bath around here. Excellent. And so sort of like I believe he has a little water skin or something, I think. And he sort of gets that out and like tries to like wash his face and his hands and stuff like that, sort of like freshen up a bit. Yeah. And then once he's done with that, and while he's doing all that, he's just carefully looking over to see what everyone else is doing, but not as if he's totally not doing that at the same time as well. So, yeah, just keeping an eye on everyone. Yeah. That's his morning routine.
Okay. So once everyone has gone through the process of getting ready, having breakfast, all that, packing up camp, what would you like to do?
Well, Sevia, as you so kindly offered, here is part of my luggage. Do be careful with it.
She takes it from you. How heavy is it?
He'll probably give you, because he has like a suitcase that he'll still have, but he'll give you like a bag. So it wouldn't be super heavy.
Okay, she's gonna kind of chuck it over her shoulder, and try to like weight balance everything because she also carries her book under her arm and not in her bag.
Yeah.
And she's going to be like, well, deal's a deal, but do you know what way we're going in order to get out of here or find civilization or just find other people?
Oh, of course. Well, I'm sure it'll be that way. He just points towards the road. And I'll roll.
So there is a road that you.
I just rolled for fun. I rolled a nat 20. So that's well. In fact, I know exactly the way we'll be going. It will be that way, perfectly straight up the road.
I'm gonna say because you got the nat 20 for nothing. I'm just gonna say like for the dramatic flair of it, like the sky. What you can see of the sky is still grey. Like, and like the moment you point, you hear like the of thunder roaring in the distance.
The crow like points proudly, and like kind of like flinches a little bit, like he turns around and the hands on his hips, like, yes, there we go. I would have thought that was obvious. The road must go somewhere.
It's as good as anywhere.
Yes.
All right.
Well, onwards then.
Oh, are you leading the way?
Well, I assume we're all traveling the same direction. I don't know.
Yes, but are you going to be at the front in case anything should happen, in case we come across any more hands or little gnarly beasts that want to choke us? Are you putting yourself at the front, Conrad? How brave of you!
Turns and looks at her with his eyes narrowed. He's like, well, I suppose that's as good as any. Yes, I will lead if everyone else is following the same direction. I will, of course, warn you not to try anything, as I have eyes, not literally, but metaphorically in the back of my head. So, yes, all right. He kind of rolls his sleeves up again, pulls his cloak up, and then kind of like unsheaths his rapier and kind of like starts to go forward. Yeah.
Well, go ahead, brave leader.
He turns around and glares at full calculating like, Excellent. Well, yes, let's go.
All right.
I'm assuming Kazir and Beatrice just watched this happen. Like,
absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm not interfering. I'm looking over at Beatrice like, you should probably be in charge, but I'm really enjoying this. So
So it's probably about
great.
6:30, 7-ish by the time you hit the road. And and you spend at around basically at about midday. You come upon upon a set of gates. Fog spills out of the forest to swallow up the road behind you, and ahead, jutting from the impenetrable woods on both sides of the road, are high stone buttresses looming grey in the fog. Huge iron gates hang on the stonework. Dew clings with cold tenacity to the rusted bars, and two headless statues of armed guards flank the gate, their heads now lying among the weeds at their feet. They greet you only with silence, and there is this image to share.
Excellent. If people want to see it, they can check it out.
I
on the
don't
podcast.
like it.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks
Very
very
imposing.
creepy and imposing.
Yeah.
Very rundown gothic, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Fun.
Well, we've found civilization, maybe. Doesn't look very welcoming to me.
As you approach, and as you say that, Fall, the gates swing open.
I mean, technically welcoming, but ominous.
Certainly
this is-
ominous.
Darby,
Yes?
would Sevia know from any of her history books, like, would this give her an idea of kind of like where they are? Because we as players know where we are, but characters, I don't think we
So
do.
roll me a history check.
Yeah. Okay. Please. Ooh. That's a 19, baby.
Okay.
Nice.
Right.
Oh, just wait till combat.
So you have heard, it's more akin to fairy tales or legends than actual history. But you have heard of a land called Barovia, a land that was lost from a far off world on another plane of existence, that was supposedly drawn into some other plane of existence, and kept away from its world of origin.
Yeah.
Beyond that, you haven't really heard much about it. But the kind of architecture of these walls seems, and the fact that you've kind of had that little extra planar jaunt to get here, seems to suggest, like, that's probably the only thing that comes to mind when putting things together.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this may sound silly to you all, but I think this might be a place I've heard of in fairy tales. Not the nice ones, I think you can tell.
Oh, definitely not the nice ones.
No.
Not encouraging, personally.
Well, it looks from what I've read, it looks like Bavaria, if you've heard of it. Is it Bavaria or Barovia? Barovia. Well, it sounds like it looks like a place I've read about called Barovia. But that's meant to be in a whole other plane of existence, which considering where we were yesterday, I think makes it a bit more plausible than me 24 hours ago would have thought.
Wouldn't be possible, though. I mean, fog can't exactly transport you to another plane, especially one from a fairy tale book. That's
but hands aren't meant to crawl upon the ground without a body attached to them. So who knows? Maybe we're in for a whole new world here.
Come to think of it, my connection to my deity's been a little bit shaky, so that'd make sense if we're on a different area.
Ball, because you have the highest passive perception, you would notice as you have been walking along the path, more and more of it has been kind of enveloped by the kind of mysterious fog.
Oh, I don't like that.
Speaking of the magic fog, it does seem to be getting awfully foggy here.
Oh, God. Maybe it will take us back then? I mean, presumably it's a door sort of situation and not a,
I hope
so. Permanent...
Would you like to head into the mists?
Oh.
No.
That's a very
Just throw
dangerous
something.
question.
Yeah.
See if it makes a noise or just goes through.
Yes, excellent suggestion. Yes.
Is there like a rock or something on the ground?
There's like rocks around.
I'm going to pick up a rock and I'll get to within like 20 feet or 30 feet or so of the fog.
Okay. Yeah.
Does it look like the same sort of fog? It's sort of all-encompassing instead of being a similar pillar.
It's the same kind of consistency, but yeah, it's more
Okay.
all-encompassing.
All right. I'm assuming nothing's going to happen, but because he's going to throw a rock into it anyway.
Okay. Did you throw a rock into the fog? It's like you can't see past it, so it's a bit hard to tell whether.
Do I hear it land or anything?
Yeah.
Roll me a perception check.
Oh.
I guess we all probably can.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
can
10.
can we all, because we were all
Yeah.
listening
10
intently?
is enough to like. You hear a faint.
Okay.
Well, the rock landed.
So
That's as scientific as I can get.
Probably regular fog then.
Sure. I don't really want to step in it though.
I wonder if it took us somewhere else. Hello, fog? Anyone through there? Anyone on the other side?
No response.
Well, it's worth a try.
How
Well-
far are we from like the heads on the ground or like the gate itself? Like how far are we from that?
Probably about 60 feet. About 20 meters.
Okay. Again, I don't think this is going to do anything, but Sevia's had a weird day already. So she's going to yell at the statue heads on the ground. And she's going to be like, hello, are either of you in any way sentient? And would you be willing to help us? I'm sure we could put your heads back where they belong if you do.
No response.
Worth a try.
Yes, worth a
Kazir's-
try. Good job.
Kazir's just going to sort of sidle up next to Sevia. I assume we're sort of spread out in a way, having followed up to the fog.
Yeah, somewhat.
And then
Yeah.
Sevia's over at the heads.
Hmm.
Kazir's just going to sort of come up next to Sevia and softly, not whispering, but not trying to yell or anything. Just like, so in these stories that you've read, do you know about anyone coming or going from those places?
Do I, Darby?
No.
No, the fairy tales more like legends. They're fragmented and they're not really told anymore. Most of them have been lost to history. Most of what I know is what my parents taught me when I was a child. Not a lot of it stuck amongst everything else.
And it's probably not something that you've particularly paid too much attention to because it's not at all attached to the history of Fierlor.
yeah, it wouldn't be relevant to me.
Yeah.
It hasn't been relevant to my studies. I've had no reason to think about a fairy tale from childhood, but the gates, they reminded me of it. That image always stuck with me when I was little. I'm sorry I can't be more of a help.
Don't
feeling rather
apologize.
useless.
No, you know more than everyone else here. So, if anything, you're the most useful one here.
Oh,
You told us where we were. I just threw a rock at a mist. So, you know.
yes, but I'm sure you have far more practical skills. Most of what I do is in theory. Anyway, this is not a time for self-pity and a wallowing. So we're just... I really hope talking to the heads would work.
Well, worth a shot. And I turn back to the rest of the group. And I look over at Beatrice, but I address the whole group. So, really, we got a couple of options. We can wait here and go back into the fog, see what happens. Or we can push on through those gates.
Well, I'm in favor of going through the gates. I mean, if there's civilization in there, I think it's worth having a look. In one way or another.
No, last time we went through the mist, it didn't end well for us.
True, good point.
So I vote gate.
Isn't the gate shrouded in fog?
Not in the same. Like everything's kind of
Behind
shrouded
us.
in
Everything's
a
kind of
sort of
Okay.
like a kind of gloomy fog, but it's not these all-encompassing mists as you have behind you.
Well, I think if we yes, I agree with Beatrice and Conrad. I think if we move fast and we try not to touch any patches where the fog looks particularly thick, we should be fine.
Sounds good to me.
Good. Well, who would like to go in first?
Oh, brave leader! Of course, it should be you.
Me. Well. All right. Well. Turns
Unless
around.
you're scared.
I'm not scared, of course. But for marching orders' sake, Beatrice, I would like you to flank my right, thank you, as we enter in, and Kazia, you the left, please, and the other two can, of course, walk safely behind. How does that sound?
Perfect.
Very well.
All right.
Beatrice, Kazia?
I look over at Kazir, sort of raise an eyebrow, and then I join up on Conrad's left flank.
Beatrice rolls her eyes at Kazira and then also lines up on the right flank.
Good.
Behind them, Sevia is actually going to grab on to Fall's wrist, and she's going to lean in and be like, he may say he's not scared, but I am, so into the breach we go.
Aw.
Me too. Sure.
At least we're doing it together.
All right. So,
They're both very anxious.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Away we go.
Yeah.
We stride into the gates of
Gates.
Barovia.
as you pass through the gates, they come swinging closed.
Okay, that's not great. That's not a good look. I look around to see if anyone is like manning them, like up, possibly.
Roll me a perception check.
Hang on. 12, so 14.
There doesn't appear to be anyone manning them.
Okay.
Kazir's just going to break off. After walking maybe the equivalent of 35 feet in the pattern assigned, he's going to break off. go back to the gate and just sort of walk up to it with the intent of walking through. Do the gates reopen again? Like, is this a
They do
proximity
not.
thing?
They do not.
Good to know. I will rejoin my flank.
Okay.
When the gates closed, I'm assuming, did they make a loud noise?
Yes, because it's a pair of
Sevia-
iron gates slamming closed.
Sevia flinched and kind of clutched her book really close to her and then like visibly relaxed.
Okay.
Excellent.
Just probably put Fall's wrist in a death grip for a second there.
When that happened, Fall probably just went like, ambush time coming soon. Just looking around.
All right.
Excellent. I guess like Conrad with that perception check hasn't seen any other possible like attackers that are visible at least.
No.
Like, well,
No.
disconcerting, but I'm sure there'll be another way out if we need to. Excellent. Well, let's see what we can find, I suppose. And he's like the hand like holding the rapier is like trembling a little bit, but he keeps like stride on. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
As I walk back from the gate to rejoin the group, do I see Sevia and or Fall jump a little?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Sevia jumped and Fall just sort of said things.
Whipped around, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, he'll walk past probably Fall, and give you like a little elbow nudge. Just be like, and just give you a nod and just courage. We're all feeling it. Don't worry. And then just keep walking.
Fall just does like an extremely insincere, unconvincing grin back, like, doing great.
So,
That's
Which is an
great.
expression Fall tends to have a lot, by the way.
so I take it you continue to follow the road?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
I think
so,
we are hesitant to exit the
Yeah.
road.
I'm keeping an eye out for like any flowers or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, nice flowers.
What kind of pace are you taking? Are you taking a slow, medium, or fast pace?
Medium?
Medium.
Wouldn't go any
Okay.
faster than medium.
Wouldn't go faster than medium, no.
He's already
Yeah,
had to
he
walk
would be
6
strolling.
hours.
Yeah, we
'cause
walked
he
for
will be-
6 hours. We're tired.
You're
Yeah.
you're covering 3 miles an hour at the moment.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Conrad will just be like, he'll be walking forward, but he's going to just be like looking around constantly, like just to keep watch to see if there's any new things that we can spot or any
Yeah.
potential people.
Yeah, like what do we
might be-
see? Are we in like a
so,
cityscape or just
no, you're
in
still within the woods. So there's these
is this
Okay.
just a
Towering-
in the wood.
gate?
yeah
Oh.
these towering trees whose tops are almost lost in heavy grey mist, and they block out all but a death grey light. The tree trunks are unnaturally close to one another, and the woods have the silence of a forgotten grave, yet exude the feeling of an unvoiced scream.
So I think Conrad is striding less and less as we continue along, and him checking around is mostly now him just surreptitiously out of the corner of his eye, just checking to make sure that Kazia and Beatrice are still at least in a potential flanking position.
Fall.
Yeah.
About half an hour after reaching the gate, you catch the scent of death on the air.
Ah, one of my favourite bouquets.
Perfume. Fall just suddenly stops and just goes, shit. Stay back, guys.
What?
I stop.
Conrad stops.
Sevia jerked to a halt when Fall stopped.
Either there's some carrion somewhere nearby, or there's been some sort of slaughter ahead. I can smell the scent of death.
Okay.
Can
Can we smell it at all? Or no? Now that it's been brought to our attention.
Roll me a perception check.
All of us?
18.
Everyone except for 4.
How good your nose is.
16.
13.
Okay, so Kazir and Conrad, you managed to pick up on it. Sivia and Beatrice do not.
He wrinkles his nose.
Is it?
Oh, okay.
I hesitate to ask. Is it like a natural decay, like an animal has just died?
It is the
Yeah,
scent.
like
It is the scent
what?
of a rotting corpse.
Oh, okay. So that could be animal.
God. Ugh.
You don't
Yes,
know.
no, I can smell that now. That's not pleasant.
It's quite faint, but it is there.
Do we know a rough
Hopefully.
direction?
Just carry on.
It's to the south. Judging by, like, you'd say it couldn't be more than about 20, 30 minutes away into the woods.
We can smell death 30 minutes away.
Damn. Stinky.
My
That's not great.
God.
Ooh.
Good.
It couldn't be more than 30 minutes away. So
Right.
it's
That's terrifying.
So it's within.
So, is
So
it
it's-
generally in the direction that
so
we're
what
walking?
is it? Actually,
Yeah, what direction are
actually
we
no.
walking?
It's nowhere near that. It's about a quarter. It's you'd be
Nearby.
able to estimate that it's about a quarter of a mile away,
Okay.
which is
More like
Uh,
10 or 15.
not even that. It's
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
500,
Yeah.
600 meters or so.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we are walking
I was doing
kind of
maths
southwesterly.
yeah.
Mm.
So to go pure south,
So it's
Yeah.
a little
little
bit.
off our track. But
Yeah.
we've been walking for 2 hours. We'd actually be, an hour. So we'd
Mm.
be
Half an hour. Half an hour.
an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm doing great. So
Or not even that. Not even that.
Okay, not great. Conrad
Since
pulls
the
out
gate.
his little handkerchief and ties it, puts it over his nose and ties it behind his head. Okay, well, hopefully that's just a stench that we're going to have to worry about, not whatever killed whatever it is that we can smell very acutely.
Okay, so you follow the scent.
What are we thinking of doing?
Party vote. I would prefer not to encounter this thing. Does anyone know can you just ascertain what direction it's in?
Yeah, it's a little bit off the ways of the path. So if we keep going on the path, we're going to get near it, but not right next to it.
Well, that should be safe-ish if we continue along the path then.
I guess I
May
could
have to-
climb a tree and have a look. If I can see anything.
Yes, it's probably a good
It's
idea.
safe for you to do so.
Yeah, if it doesn't cause attention, I am a little eye-catching. No, but my horns might blend in with the trees, branches, so I could give it a try.
Okay.
Conrad
So
just looks at you pointedly, looks at this tree
I'll do
Yeah.
that.
you follow the scent and it leads you to a human corpse, half buried in the underbrush, about 15 feet from the road.
Okay.
Oh, it's just on the road. Okay.
About
it's
15,
on the road.
about
Okay.
15,
Oh.
15 feet from the road.
Yeah, I guess I go to climb a tree and then I just see it.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, well.
His muddy clothes are torn and raked with claw marks. It's clear that crows have been at the body, which is also surrounded by paw prints. The man has obviously been dead for several days, and he holds a crumpled envelope in one hand.
Okay. Upon seeing this, Fall is going to just put his hand to his mouth like he's going to puke, and then he's just going to walk away and just sit against a tree away from
Okay.
it.
Sevia is it's pretty rotten, isn't it? And bloated.
Yeah. It's starting to get into that bloating stage, I believe.
Sevia is frozen. She is not moving.
Okay.
Looks almost like she's not breathing.
Oh god, the stench is unbearable. Ugh. There's claw marks as well. Have any of you seen anything like this before? Because this is a little bit weird, personally, for any of the maimed things that I have witnessed in the... Yes, it's weird, isn't it? Claw marks. Not good.
Kazia's going to circle back around to that one later. But has he, in his profession, seen anything like this before?
Roll me a... maybe a nature check.
Yeah, I was gonna say with Beatrice being a ranger, has she seen something?
Yeah, you could also roll me a nature check.
Will a 3 cut it?
It will not.
17.
17.
Hey.
Okay. So, with 17, like, you both of you immediately think, like, wolves, of course. And then take a moment and think, like, these actually are probably a bit big for wolves. And that's where the line of thought stops for Kazir. For Beatrice,
Big wolf.
yeah. So you probably are able to piece together, like with the size of them compared to regular wolves, that it's probably something akin to a dire wolf or multiple dire wolves that did this.
Well, I've seen something similar, but this is bigger. A bit bigger. Like
Bigger.
not just a regular wolf, like how you say, dire wolf. Big.
That's a problem. All right. Is there anything happening with the body? Like, it's just a decayed corpse and it's got an envelope in its hand.
It has an envelope in its hand.
Well, being the cleric, boy, this is what I do. I go up to dead bodies and poke them with sticks. So I will, I'll say a quick prayer of strength to my deity. I'll get a little bit of cloth and just sort of cover my face, and I'll readjust my cloak to make sure that it's still hanging over my back and my sides. And then I will walk up to the decaying body and I will kneel over it and say a quick prayer.
Okay. You do so, and
yeah. And then as I finish the prayer, yeah, he won't mind, and I go for the envelope.
okay. So you notice that it is still sealed, with a wax seal with a large B set into it. The letter B, not the insect.
Oh my god, and it stings me and I die.
I'm allergic, my one weakness.
The parchment is worn and flimsy.
All right. Is there any symbology that's still still intact on the body? So is he like a messenger or?
Roll me an investigation check.
Okay, investigation. That is a 15.
15. There's nothing in particular. He doesn't seem to be a particularly well-off man. Doesn't seem to be particularly poor either. Just probably like working class.
He was a 10 attractiveness, apparently.
Oh, he was very
yeah, I
hot
forgot
on
to
the
roll
first
hotness.
time.
Please don't let that be a thing in this campaign.
It was a thing in episode 0, so it is a thing now.
Oh, that dire wolf is a solid 7.
That's gonna happen. They're
Where
gonna
the
be very
third
busy.
glistens in the
Do
wind.
you
No.
wish to do anything with the letter?
I'm going to look at it. I'm just going to like smack it in my hand a couple of times. I'm going to look back at the party, and then I'm just going to put it in my backpack for now.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm going to look around for like a large rock or something. Not like large, but like head size or something, if there is one.
Okay.
Or like a nice, unique looking stick.
Roll me an investigation check.
Oh, 19.
19.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you find a decent looking rock. I
Okay.
assume this is like headstone kind
Yeah.
of thing you're looking for. Yeah,
Yeah.
you find an appropriate rock.
Cool. I'm just going to place it, at his head, I guess. And I'll do another prayer, wishing him safe travels to the beyond.
All right.
And then I will rejoin the party
Yeah.
and cough.
That's fair. Conrad will also pop over to where Fall is kind of like moved aside. Like, hey, now, very disgusting, I agree, but you may want to sort of get that quarterstaff prepared, I think, so that we don't end up like him.
Yes, absolutely. I'll get right on that.
Okay.
Fall is very distressed.
Kazia, can you
Come on,
please
pull
note
yourself together.
for me in your inventory that you have the KI letter?
AI?
KI.
Okay.
Cute. Interesting.
For note, Sevia has not moved the entire time.
Okay.
That's
She's
fair.
just frozen.
Fair enough.
Noted.
Okay, Conrad turns around. So, possibly wolves of some description, some large description, somewhere in these forests. Not good. Might need to exercise additional caution.
As if to illustrate your point, Conrad, you all hear a "Oh" in the distance.
Why does this keep happening? The dramatic things keep punctuating everything I say. It's pretty cool, I suppose, but anyway, yes, not good. As you see, wolves. Probably good if we all have weapons ready. Yes.
How far away was the wolf? The general direction, and it didn't sound like next to us or anything.
Yeah.
Roll me a perception check.
6.
6. I mean, doesn't sound too close.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Very faintly, I don't know if anyone's going to hear this, but very faintly, Sevia's going to say, we should get back on the road.
Oh.
Okay, wolves, that's something we can deal with. Let's
Okay.
get moving and keep a watch, I guess.
Yes, tighter formation, preferably.
Beatrice pulls out her bow and walks
Okay.
towards the group a bit more.
Excellent.
Okay.
Conrad still has his rapier drawn. He just looks, a lot less sure of himself. He's like, well, let's continue carefully in some direction along this road. Yes.
Okay. So you continue along the road, and let's say so it's been about, at this point it probably has been about half an hour since you went through the gate. So that would be So and then
Doesn't sound, I don't like those
While you're
calculations.
working that out as a note, someone definitely had to give Sevia a nudge in order for her to actually start moving.
okay.
Fall would probably be like, come on, it's just wolves. Let's
Right. Wolves.
let's
yes,
get going.
Are you still moving at a regular pace?
A little bit quicker now.
I imagine we'd all be a bit quicker. Or it's kind
Yeah,
of
I'm not sure if we're
Yeah.
moving fast, but we are definitely moving like the fast side
The
of
fast
the medium,
walk.
I'd
Okay.
say.
Yeah, we're power walking.
Okay.
Definitely a lot more alert.
Yeah.
Like if it were a sliding scale, we're right up against fast, but I don't
Yeah.
think we're expending
Also-
that much energy.
If they come across like a mud puddle, Fall is gonna like roll in it to hide his scent.
Okay.
Probably he's gonna like start doing it and then pause, take off Conrad's coat, then continue doing it so the coat
Like-
doesn't get dirty.
If like Fall looks up, Cora's like frozen in like this like expression of like abject horror and rage.
Yes! Oh, I'm so
Fall does
happy.
not explain
All right.
this.
So at this pace, after about 45 minutes of travel, you come up to the village of, you come up to a village.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
We're alive. Yeah.
Look over at the mud-covered Fall, and I just sort of have a slight chuckle to myself.
Yeah. Tall shapes loom out of the dense fog that surrounds everything. The muddy ground underfoot gives way to slick, wet cobblestones. The tall shapes become recognizable as village dwellings. The windows of each house stare out from pools of blackness. No sound cuts the silence except for mournful sobbing that echoes through the streets from a distance.
Choose the dire wolves.
Sevia has definitely had a chance to calm down a bit in the 40 minutes, and she's going to be like, well, I will admit this is not what I was expecting when we said we wanted to find civilization, but I'm sure there's some kind of inn maybe, or maybe people are just, this isn't much dissimilar to a university campus near exam time. So I'm sure this is maybe just not a normal occurrence for this village, and maybe we can find someone a little happier. Maybe someone important has just died. Maybe this isn't
Maybe
as
this is the
scary as
widow
we
of
think.
that person.
In which case, we could maybe bring them some joy to know that their partner has been discovered. Or maybe we can just find an inn, or at least somewhere dry, and we can, maybe stop somewhere and eat, and then maybe continue on our way out
So
before nightfall.
Oh, good
you
Lord.
you are collectively coming in from the east of this
Oh, yeah, if you're on the
this map
podcast, check out
here.
the little map.
yeah.
Oh,
All right, cool.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Oh, these are
Well,
big houses.
all in all, I mean, the decor, and the general disposition isn't really a problem. I mean, this is a good thing. We found some lodgings, possibly, probably no wolves, hopefully, and quite possibly even a bath. So that's this is good. So it's sort of like talking mainly to himself, but aloud. And again, talking to myself, not very good. Good.
Beatrice just looks around at everyone and says, if we proceed with caution.
Yes, what she said.
Yes.
Absolutely. That sounds very wise. Yes. Okay, we proceed.
Has anything happened in like the time we've been standing around making a lot of noise to indicate that there are people in this village?
Well, there's the cry from a distance.
I just mean like in a more immediate vicinity, like in a town that's silent. We've all been standing here making noise. Has anyone come to check on us?
No one's come to check on you. No.
Okay. Could we see any like faces in windows or?
Roll me a perception check.
Ooh, that was not half bad. That's a 17.
I did nat 20 again. Why am I rolling them out of combat for stupid things?
5.
16.
Okay, so
23.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, yes, I've
Yeah.
been 22, but yeah.
So for anyone above a 15, you do see that there are occasionally people staring out of windows in some of the houses.
Okay.
Not so much staring, but making quick glances out.
Upon second reflection, this continues to be a lot like a university campus near exam time, but I'm feeling less and less comfortable with that. So maybe we should just walk straight through this town and find a bit of wood, because at least in the woods, no one was staring at us as far as we could tell. So maybe we should just walk straight through.
I would like to take it a bit slow. We walk our way through town, see what's around, and maybe...
Yes.
there's people here. None of them have actively come out and attacked us yet. So,
No, so good sign, good sign.
you know,
Worried, yeah.
maybe someone here will be able to give us a bit of a heads up as to where we are, how we get out.
I'm worried why they all seem to be all staying indoors so carefully. If this town is under military command or something similar, that's very concerning.
Well, that's one way to find out.
You make a valid point. Let's find out.
Yes.
All right.
As we're getting to actual civilization, Kazir is making a considerable effort to keep adjusting his cloak, and he's actually going to put his hood up, not fully covering his face, but just sort of at brow line,
Okay.
just so that it's there. Because, tiefling.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fair.
So is there anything in particular that you are looking out for?
Kazir is looking out for an establishment.
Yeah, I'm looking for
so-
a tavern.
Yeah, looking
Yeah.
for a tavern, looking for a place of rest, place of food, a place of a market square.
Or secondarily
center.
stables, but yes.
Yeah.
On the
I
same
think
thing
Sevia
allies.
is also keeping a lookout to see if there are any indicators of churches or any places of worship and what they maybe worship,
Okay.
as well as the other establishments. But I think she is maybe thinking if this is the fairy tales, what god is there watching them.
Okay. So following along the main road, heading west, you probably the first major kind of establishment type building that you come across is one where sparse light from the building spills out from behind heavy drawn curtains. And there's a sign over the door which creaks on its hinges, which reads Bildreth Mercantile. As you make your way around to where the door of this place would be, you also manage to see on the opposite side of the road, nestled away, a single shaft of light thrusting illumination into the main square. The brightness looking like a solid pillar in the heavy fog. Above the gaping doorway to this building is a sign that hangs precariously askew, proclaiming this to be the Blood on the Vine Tavern.
Okay.
Well, looks fun.
Certainly not at all ominously named.
It's a tavern, though, so probably the best place to pop in and see what the locale are like, possibly, or if, again, they are just all peering from their windows and that's sort of all they do. Yes. And also, quite possibly, they might have a bath there, which I am quite excited about. Even if the name is ominous, but I mean, all names can be quite ominous for taverns if they're very good ones or very bad ones. Yes. Well, shall we check out the tavern?
Let's.
Why not?
Yes.
Good,
It-
excellent.
Beatrice shoulders her bow, but then places one of her hands very tentatively on the hilt of one of her daggers.
That's fair. Yeah, Conrad also shares, sheaves his rapier. And then
Just
kind of
walking through town with a rapier. No wonder they're looking at us through the window.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
think we're the issue.
Yeah.
All right.
Walk around with hobbits.
So,
Excellent. Cautiously
Yeah,
make our
that's
way
it.
towards the
Yeah.
tavern.
Okay. So you enter the tavern, and you see there is a blazing fire in the hearth, which gives scant warmth to. There's a few people within the tavern, including there's a barkeep behind the bar, three women sitting together, and a man who a man who is actually I can give you an image of this man.
Important man.
He's important.
Tell us.
Or-
Relevant.
Describe it for the podcast.
Yeah, he is. He
Three,
is.
but I'll keep judgment until I see him. You
I'd-
can shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
That's 3.5 at least.
I mean, depending on what you're into.
He's got a
Looks
kind
like
of
an-
rugged charm to him.
yeah.
He
It's
looks
older
like if
dude
the
with
Hound
hair.
from Game of Thrones, wasn't the Hound from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
No, he looks like a mixture of the Hound and Jaime Lannister. Like if they had a love
Oh,
child.
this is
Yeah, for
kryptonite
sure.
for Emily.
Yeah.
Not to call you out on the podcast or anything.
Thank you.
How are you doing playing
Okay.
D&D, Emily? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll
Okay.
stare at this man cautiously.
Okay. So yeah, so that is the one of the figures in the tavern.
Fuller's going to go directly to the fireplace, start warming his hands, and then actually put his hands briefly into the fire because of his fire resistance.
Okay.
Not enough to injure, but just
Are you actually putting your hands into the fire?
briefly for a second.
That's still 2 points of fire damage
Mm.
because that was four halved to 2.
Damn it.
You can't. You may be resisted, but you can't just put your hands in fire.
It's like if you. Yeah, I guess.
Cora just stares over Falls well, they're occupied. They're keeping. Yes. Well, that's very normal. Well, he's gonna let's try to psych himself off as he is looking intently at the barkeep. Obviously, contemplating something.
Okay.
Try to psych himself up to go over and talk to him. But yeah, to them, I don't know what
no.
they.
Okay. The barkeep is a kind of pudgy man. You notice that he just seems to be in the process of cleaning glasses one after another. After he finishes the process, you notice that he starts over.
Keep himself busy there.
Okay, I'm just gonna say,
Such
neat
an NPC.
work.
Yeah. Big NPC energy.
If my boss is listening legally, that is a joke, but me at work.
Okay, I kind of Okay. And he kind of walks up, tries to stride up, be like, hello there, good sir.
Sevia has walked up with him.
Okay, his head goes up blankly to look at you from his work.
Okay.
You notice that there doesn't really seem to be much in the way of life behind his eyes.
He's a literal NPC.
Possible, sir.
He's not dead. He's clearly living.
Retail,
he's clearly living.
He's a customer service, like that's
there's
fair.
no.
Yeah.
It's like lights are on and nobody's home kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. Hello. We are passing through the town. Relative newcomers. Wondering about if you could tell me anything about this place, and do you have any drinks on supply or something?
1 copper for a glass, 1 silver for a pitcher.
All right. Well, if it'll cost 1, then sure. He kind of like reaches into one's pockets, I suppose, and pulls out like he pulls out a gold piece and then like kind of puts it onto the counter. Like, will that cover it?
He goes to pour out 10 pitchers of glass, like 10 pitchers of wine. Hands you some glasses, and then goes back to cleaning those left over.
Okay, but any information about where we are? Do you have a name?
Arik.
Arik, okay, nice to meet you. And what town have we found ourselves in?
He continues to clean the glasses.
Sorry, I mustn't have been loud enough. What town have we found ourselves in?
You won't get much information out of him. You turn to see one of the 3 women call out, the other 2 kind of giggling quietly to themselves.
Conrad like flushes with embarrassment and kind of looks like frustrated, annoyed that like they're giggling, and then she's like, yeah.
He's hollow.
Oh.
Nothing behind the haze.
Okay,
Hollow.
well, I've met people like that.
Got no soul.
You can not have a soul?
Normally no, but here in Barovia, sure.
We are in...
Okay.
I almost said Ross. Sevia is going to grab one of the... she's going to juggle everything she's holding. She's going to grab one of the pitchers. She's going to grab a couple glasses, and she's going to walk over to the ladies' table. And she's going to be like, Arnas, could you tell us some more about where we are and how he doesn't have a soul? Is he the only one?
Oh, far from it. So, before we tell you anything, who are you? Why do you not know so much about Barovia?
My name is Sevia. I'm a visiting student at the Grand College of the Arcane in Durham.
Never heard of this Durham, but pleasure to meet you, Sevia. And she puts her hand out to shake yours. The name's Aoife.
I shake her hand and I say, wonderful. Yes, and to answer your other question, we only arrived here yesterday. We walked through some weird and as yet to be known wonderful circumstances. We have found ourselves in quite a strange place. We've been walking through the woods for about 7 or 8 hours at this point. We were mostly hoping to find civilization and somewhere to rest before continuing on, but this all seems a little weirder than we thought.
Interesting. So how did you find yourself here?
Through a pillar of fog. And then, through some weird plane full of crawling hands, and then more literally by walking through the woods, as previously stated.
Interesting. I'm Eva. These are my sisters, Cersei and Maeve.
Wonderful to meet you.
You interested in hearing about the future at all?
Oh, as in like a card reading, like at a carnival?
Oh, nothing so cheap.
Oh, well, I mean, if the future will give us any information about the present, I'd love to hear it.
Very well, mate. And I suspect you're here for a reason, and even if you're not, I'm sure Mother Eve would be keen to know what you're doing here.
Mother Eve? Is Mother Eve like a goddess or a person?
Oh, she's a person. She's the arc druid of our folk.
Wonderful. So are you 3 druids as well?
No, we've got no such dedication to the spirits ourselves. We prefer to deal in these kinds of spirits.
My name's Kazir. I'm just gonna butt in here. How y'all doing? Hi.
This is my friend, Kazir.
Hi.
We've
Sorry.
met in the fog.
I just remembered I got something that you asked me a question before, and I got an answer for you. If you won't, we won't disturb anyone. Do you want to join me outside real quick? And I walk outside.
Kizzy is a very considerate. I will be back for that talk of the future, ladies. Thank you, and then I will follow Kizzy outside.
Okay.
What? I don't remember asking you a question.
No, that was a top tier level ploy to get you outside. I've picked up a few things on the streets, and they don't suspect a thing. So,
what? They seem perfectly lovely. I don't know why you're... Unless you think I can't handle a situation.
I think you can handle the situation fine. I just think they can handle it a hell of a lot better. What are they doing? Why do they know so much? And why are they so interested in us? And why, might I ask, are they dealing with these kinds of spirits?
Well, for one, they just seem like perfectly nice people. And some of the first people we've met who have not been either bloated or hollow since we arrived and found each other. 2, I personally thought they were making a fun little pun about being in a tavern, Kizzy. But if you think I can't differentiate a joke from an ominous warning, then I guess that's on you and me. And I don't know, they seem like they know something, and at the moment we know nothing, so.
Well, I bet they do know something. But I'm just concerned that the first people we run into that ain't afflicted are offering all this information, and they're making jokes, you say, about spirits and stuff, and they know everything, and they're completely cool with the fact that people don't have souls, and they're laughing about it. To me, that ain't right. I'm just saying we should move with a little bit of caution.
I'm not saying I think it's right. But we are a group of loud and colorful people who appeared in town, started asking questions about what plane of existence we're even on. It makes sense that they'd be interested in... Oh, I don't know. I'm being an idiot, aren't I?
You're not being an idiot. I get it. You're a friendly person. You expect other people to be friendly. And I get that. I was like that once.
Well, you don't, because that's not what it is at all. I don't do people, Kazir, and people don't do me. So, look, I'm just trying to be helpful. And if what I can do is talk to people, if what I can do is learn, then so be it. That's what I do. Unless you want Conrad to be the one doing all the talking for us, I'm sure he'd enjoy that.
Because he has a little bit of a thought to himself and then checks it off. Look, I'm sure you can handle yourself. And I don't know what you're saying about you not being a people person, because from what I hear and from what I've seen over the last, couple of days, you seem to get along with everyone and everyone seems to get along with you. So, all I'm saying is just be careful. I don't, in my line of work, that stuff is a red flag. It's a big red flag. We don't like that sort of stuff. And usually that stuff is bad.
Okay. Well, do you want to talk to them with me? You probably know more than I do if what they say is going to be something that leads us astray. So if we talk to them together, it's harder to fleece two of us than one of us.
I mean, I'm happy to do it as a full group. I don't want to, take responsibility for anything. I don't want to be in charge, but I'm just, that threw up a lot of flags for me. And I just don't want, in here in Barovia or wherever the hell we are, you're one of the 5 friends that I have here, and I don't want you to be led astray. So,
Oh.
Just trying to keep an eye out for you and for the rest of the group.
That's, sorry. She gets a little quiet and she goes, it's not, I don't share this. I haven't had a friend in about a decade. Thank you. I do think they might feel a bit threatened if we turn up with 5 people, including many of us with swords. But maybe we let the others know that we are talking to them and to keep an eye out. And we can go back and start drinking some of that wine and getting them to drink more of it than us and see what they have to say.
I think that's a very good idea.
Good. Thank you.
All right.
That's all right.
Thank you.
And sorry about the friend thing. If I stepped over a line.
No.
That's Pat. I'm not qualified for this kind of talk.
It's good. It's fine.
No.
All right.
It means yes. Thank you. Hopefully that friendship continues when we get home.
Yeah, well.
Because I don't think I've seen you around Durham.
No, they don't like me around Durham. Well, horns, teeth, skin, and other.
You
yeah.
certainly are a picture, but
well, you haven't seen the half of it. Anyway, let's go talk to some definitely normal people.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back in the tavern while all this has been going on, what have Beatrice, Conrad, and Fall been doing?
Talking to the hot old guy. No.
They've been telling our party secrets to the 3 chicks.
I mean, the guy.
Beatrice.
He's not old. The guy. He's probably.
Sevia's 21. Yeah. He's old.
He's probably in his late 20s himself.
He's just like in grayscale.
Yeah.
Oh, he's younger than Kazir.
A lot younger than Beatrice.
Wait, how old's Kazir?
He's mid-30s.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we all babies.
You other guys are babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are you two doing now that I personally am having a crisis?
Beatrice grabbed one of the pictures and went to a vacant table and tried to beckon a couple of the others over.
Fall went alongside with her, and he was kind of like, what kind of alcohol is this? I haven't been over 18 for that long, so I haven't been able to try many different ones.
Beatrice just shrugs, pours full of glass and hands it over.
And it appears to be a fairly basic wine.
Is it a red or a white?
Red.
Red. All right, red. Probably the grape stuff. Let's give it a taste. Kind of gross. Well, let's keep going with it.
That is so good. Conrad is still at the bar. He's trying to make a conversation with the barkeep. He's like, "Bath, do you have a bath? Is there a bath on these premises?" He writes. He gets out his little leather book and he writes "bath" on it and holds it in his face.
And throughout the entire interaction, Arik does not look up from his cleaning once.
Hello, am I not being bath where you wash yourself in so you don't smell like you've been walking for 10 million bloody hours.
And Aoife,
bath.
Eventually Aoife just pipes up like, "What about him being hollow, don't you understand?"
Well, I mean, there's stupid people everywhere. That's, but they...
But there's a difference between stupid and not having a soul.
So when you're saying not having a soul, do you mean literally no soul? Do you mean like...
I mean he literally has no soul. There's only so many souls to go about in Barovia.
Sorry, are you saying that one, people have souls, and two, that like
of course people have souls. Normally no, but in Barovia, yes.
Okay, I suppose it would be different from my family. All right. So
not in here, it ain't.
Okay. Well.
Unless you're one of us, unless you're a mind tear, then no souls go in, no souls come out.
That's very strange. This is a very strange day.
You're in a strange place.
That is correct, yes. Much to think on. Is there a bathhouse in this this sort of city area? May I ask? Do they exist in this realm?
None here. You might be able to ask around, but there's you might be able to find one at another settlement.
Oh God.
We usually just use the pools.
Pools, okay. Well, I suppose they might be like some kind of spa. All right. Well, that's good to know, I suppose. Fun talk. May take you up on this again soon while I contemplate the existence or non-existence of souls. And he picks up his tankard and kind of awkwardly sits down next to Beatrice and Fall, looking a little bit like uncomfortable.
By count, there are still 7 pitchers of mediocre wine on the bar that we have paid for. I'm assuming at this point, Sevia and Kazir come back in, and Sevia is going to dart over to the table where you 3 are, and she's going to be like, Kazir and I are going to have an important conversation with the weird old ladies. If anything looks dangerous, please do something. Thank you. And keep an eye on the man too. I do not know if he has a soul or not, and frankly, I'm just, yes, prepared, yes, bye. And then she goes off to rejoin Kazir and go to the old ladies.
Distraction ready, I guess.
You didn't say if they were old or not.
They're middle-age-ish.
So it's just my mother. I mean that in the kindest way possible. And Emily knows I do.
She's not wrong.
No. Anyway.
So as Kazir and Sevia are walking in, I'm in the middle of describing the difference between hares and rabbits.
Okay.
Sevia is, as much as she did start the way to tell the others, she is very fascinated by this.
Okay.
Yeah, so rabbits, they burrow underground to make their nests, but hares, they nest above ground, and that's another one of the differences. And there's so many people use them interchangeably, but it's anyway. Sorry. Hi, how are you? we didn't meet properly before.
Yes, like I said, ladies, this is my friend Kazir.
Yes.
He's interested in hearing about the future, anything you have to say about the present, and where we are.
Well,
Mainly the present.
we've pretty much covered it. Aoife, Saoirse, Maeve, and there's Barovia. And if you want to know about the future, then you'll have to see Mother Eve.
And if you don't mind me asking, like, what? Well, I mean, obviously, this is gonna be a real rude question for normal, like the humans over there. But being a tiefling, it's a fairly common question. What are you?
We are of the Mointir. We are Mointir and Barov. Some of the more ancient people of these lands, and some of the few who can pass freely between Barovia and the outer, the plains beyond.
Cool.
What kind of planes beyond? Do you mean things like that plane I mentioned where little hands were crawling everywhere? Are there more of them?
Aye, the Shadowfell, and the other domains within it, and the material plane for the most part. We could probably find our way elsewhere as well, but that's where we do most of our traveling between.
And yet you've never heard... Have you heard of Fierlor?
Don't think we have. We mainly go... Faerun is where we tend to find ourselves passing through. Sometimes Orth,
Right.
but mostly Faerun.
Right.
That's
So you
Orth,
mentioned-
not Earth, Mitch.
Okay,
So that
cool.
look. Yeah.
I was like, oh god!
Oh my god, it's canon.
Ah!
We are canon.
So you mentioned that you can go to the material plane.
Aye.
Is that not where we are right now?
Oh no, you're in Barovia, one of the domains of dread in the Shadowfell.
Domain of dread. Does
Aye.
Would Sevia know about the Shadowfell and the fact it's been missing?
roll me a either an Arcana, Religion, or History check, and keep in mind the Shadowfell hasn't been missing yet. That's about 100 years from now.
I didn't know that.
You were just getting glimpses of the future from the 3 Mointers.
Yeah, okay. So I guess instead my question is, do I know about the Shadowfell?
Yeah.
So sorry, what were my options? It was
Arcana, Religion, or History.
Well, I'm gonna go with history, and that's gonna make me a dirty 20, baby.
Okay,
Nice.
so the Shadowfell is one of 2 planes outside of the material that basically overlaps with the material plane in various places. The other being the Feywild. But while the Feywild is this amazing, vibrant, luscious landscape that is an extreme positive an extremely beautiful mirror to the world. The Shadowfell is quite the opposite. It is this dark, dreadful, desolate landscape that there are accounts of people being driven mad with despair from roaming through the Shadowfell itself for too long. There are certain areas of respite from that particular effect, kind of pocket subdimensions within the plane, but which you suspect and hope that this supposed domain of dread is one of.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is not a very happy place by all accounts.
Okay. So Cece is going to say, well, that parts of that sound quite dreadful, and other parts of that sound quite fascinating. Just to go back to something you mentioned before, you said the barkeep has no soul.
Aye.
How?
No souls outside of the Montira and Barov. Get in or go out. So if someone is born and there's no souls floating around to be reborn into it, then the person is born soulless.
Oh, that's creepy.
Oh, can they acquire a soul?
Not as far as I'm aware,
Oh, so
but I'm
Their
no
life-
expert.
their life is decided on source and supply. Wonderful.
Something like that.
Fantastic. Under the table, she's going to grab onto Kazir's wrist. I assume he has an arm down by his side. If not, she's grabbing his leg. Either way, it's now I am curious as to why you said you could tell me the future when what you meant was that the Mother Eve could tell me. It seems like quite an enticing thing to say to someone, only for there not to be a lot of direct follow-up. Not that I am complaining about your hospitality, it just seems strange.
I don't recall claiming to be able to tell you the future myself.
Sorry, that must be my fault then. We're from a different plane of existence apparently. Ways work a bit differently.
Of course.
You'll forgive my rudeness.
Of course.
Out of curiosity, you are familiar with travel between planes,
Of course. We are Montier.
right? You've mentioned that a few times. How would someone who isn't a Munter travel between planes?
There are two ways. The first is to gain passage with a caravan of Mointir. But the places on these caravans are limited, and there are shall we say strict requirements. The other is to alleviate the pressures of the curses that lay over this land.
There's a curse on this land.
Oh, aye.
What are they?
The land of Barovia was made as... Well, there's so many different accounts that I can't say which one's true for certain. But these lands are ruled over by Count Strahd.
Count Strahd.
Aye. He... some say that this is a prison for him of sorts. A prison and a torture meant to torment him for his choices, shall we say.
Right, and all of you got punished for his choices, or was Barovia born of his choices?
Well, Barovia was once on a world of its own, and it was in life. It was Strahd's kingdom, and it was brought into the demi-plane of dread, and the people of the land were brought with it.
I'm sorry to say that. Well, I'm not even sure if I am sorry, but on my home stories of Barovia, they're legends, fairy tales. Nothing quite prepares you for the real thing, I guess.
Be pretty sick and twisted parents to tell fairy tales of this place to their kids.
I would have to disagree on that one.
You haven't been here.
Well,
No.
you're not a parent.
But I have been here now, and I can tell you that the versions my parents told me did not include hollow people, or quite as many crawling hands and decaying corpses in forests. Clearly they censored it.
Clearly.
I am sorry that your lives could not be the censored versions. It might be more enjoyable.
When you're ready, there's a camp by a pool along the river. If you follow the road and then continue through, don't turn off when there's a crossroads, then eventually you'll come across our camp. And there, you'll be able to talk with Mother Eve.
Thank you. Let me just, and she digs through her little backpack and she pulls out a spare piece of parchment and a pen, and she's like, just let me write down the directions so I don't forget. It's the pool along the road by a river, yes?
Aye. You will have to cross a bridge at one point.
Cross a bridge. She's writing very fast, and it's very much that that almost doctor scribble kind of thing.
That sounds about right.
Almost very much like the notes that I have right now. It's,
and it's kind of mixed in with some weird shorthand.
Meanwhile, while you're doing this, Beatrice, Conrad, and Fall, you see the man in the corner approach you and say in hushed tones, "I hear you're not from around here. I think I need your help." And that's where we're going to leave it for this week.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
No.
We got those Russian accents you promised us. Well, one, and then we got a whole lot of Irish.
Oi.
Aye. And some
Thanks for
Irish,
listening.
some good wholesome Irish names.
Hey,
Yes.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you all
Thank
very
you for
much.
listening.
everyone.
Hope you enjoy, and
Yes.
we'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
See ya.